Jack Wilshere's career will always be defined by one singular question: what could have been? At just 17 years old, Wilshere signed his first professional contract with Arsenal in the presence of Arsene Wenger and Liam Brady. Then, just 2 years later, Wilshere was running the show during Arsenal's famous first-leg victory against Barcelona. While most players at the time were dominated by Pep Guardiola's great Barcelona midfield, Wilshere gave Sergio Busquets, Andres Iniesta, and Xavi a taste of their own medicine during Arsenal's victory at the Emirates. It was this time that it appeared Jack Wilshere was destined to become an Arsenal star, captain, and legend. But now, having not completed 90 minutes in the Premier League since August 2018, there must be a question about whether he will ever enjoy a consistent injury-free season. So, what happened to the English midfielder who was once on top of the world? Those who worked with Jack Wilshere in the early stages of his professional career believe he was one of the most talented teenagers that had ever played the game. Owen Cole, the manager who signed him on loan from Bolton in January 2010, claims Wilshere's combination of consistency and class at such a young age meant he was destined to be a truly world-class player. Neil Banfield, who was Arsenal's first-team coach from 2012 to 2018, believes there was nothing that separated Wilshere and Cesc Fabregas at 18 years old. He would go on to say that at the time, he believed Wilshere looked like a star who could have captained Arsenal and England for years to come. Finally, after the famous game against Barcelona, Pep Guardiola himself notably praised Wilshere, calling him a top player. Jack Wilshere's career will always be defined by the injury problems he was plagued with. Wilshere's decline began in the 2011-2012 season when he missed the entire campaign due to injury. The next 3 years following that season, he would play a total of 729 minutes of a possible 3,420, playing a total of 20% of first-team football. In those dark periods, there were times when, free of injury, Wilshere was able to build his fitness and find his form and confidence again. He'd even reached a level where Wenger and Roy Hodgson, who was the England manager at the time, would talk about him getting back towards his best form. The problem, however, has been continuity and rhythm. Wilshere's return to action towards the end of the 2014-2015 season, after almost 6 months out, was met with great excitement, particularly after 2 goals and a man-of-the-match performance for England in a win away to Slovenia. But then came a collision with a teammate in training, just before the following campaign began. Wenger initially suggested Wilshere would be out for days, but a fractured fibula kept him on the sidelines for 8 months, delaying his comeback. He then made 29 Premier League appearances in the 2016-2017 season when he went on loan to Bournemouth, but then suffered a crack to his left fibula, keeping him out for an extended period of time once more. 2 years later, Arsenal offered him a contract on reduced terms, but Wilshere turned it down because he felt that he needed a fresh start. He joined West Ham, the club he supported as a boy, when they offered him a larger deal. He moved there on a 3-year deal in the summer of 2018. In total, he has started just 6 Premier League matches in 2 seasons at West Ham. That includes starting the first 4 games of his debut year, but then, having injured his ankle again, he required surgery, and only played another 55 minutes of football in the 2018-2019 season. Last season would have been the toughest for Wilshere. After starting the first 2 games of the season, he succumbed to a groin problem that kept him out of action for months. He was then on his way back after building towards full fitness in March, when COVID-19 forced football into lockdown. Since then, he's played just 35 minutes in cameo substitute appearances. The story of Wilshere's career is a sad one. To think what could have been for the Englishman without all the injuries. Mikel Arteta, a former teammate of Wilshere, best captures the story of Jack's career.
It's very sad with Jack. When I joined here and I watch him play every day in training and the ability he had, you could say he can be one of the best midfielders. But he always had something, and he started to build again a career, and then again another injury, again another setback, and it was disappointment. I was very impressed with Jack, how strong he is mentally to deal with the situation, because as well he had a lot of pressure from the media because the expectations for him were big. But it's what it is.
How good could he have been, do you think?
He could be phenomenal.
Let's not forget, yes, Jack Wilshere was a footballer, but he was a human being too. A human being whose career was plagued by injury, but mostly misfortune. The young midfielder was once destined to become a world-class midfielder for both club and country. What could have been, what could have been.